Councillors, ladies and gentlemen in the public gallery, please pray silence and be upstanding for the worshipful message for a Wigan, Councillor Susan Greensmith.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Please remain standing where I ask my chaplain, Reverend Judah, to say a few words before the start of the meeting. Reverend Judah.
Let us pray. Lord, we give thanks for the changing of the seasons, for autumn, the fullness of harvest, and the promise of rebirth and renewal, for the fulfilment of our work, for goals achieved, for targets met and projects delivered. Help us to celebrate what we have achieved. Give us discipline to review our efforts and the wisdom to learn from our mistakes, and inspire us to plan ahead. We ask this in the sure knowledge of the resurrection, the transformation of death to new life, and the building of your kingdom. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Judah. Please be seated. Apologies for absence.
We've received apologies for absence from Councillor Mark Aldred, Councillor Carmichael, Councillor Mike Dewhurst, Councillor Shirley Dewhurst, Councillor Fairhurst, Councillor Holland, Councillor Reedy, Councillor Roberts, Councillor Sweeney, Councillor Talbot, Councillor Grundy, and Councillor Sam Murphy. Are there any further apologies for absence?
The minutes of the council meeting held on the 12th of September 2018. I move the acceptance of these as a correct record. Can I put the minutes to the vote? Are those in favour of accepting the minutes, please show. Thank you. Mayor's announcements. Young Musician of the Year Award for Elizabeth Birch. I would like to welcome Elizabeth to the meeting and congratulate her on receiving the Young Musician of the Year Award for playing the piano. We are very lucky in Elizabeth is going to play a piece of music of her choice entitled Rosemary by Frank Bridge. like once again congratulate Elizabeth on her award and to thank her for playing for us this evening. Thank you. Sporting achievements. Wigan Warriors, it is with great pleasure that I can report that Wigan Warriors won the Super League Grand Final on 13th of October at Old Trafford, beating Warrington Wolves in a nail-biting final. This completed a treble of wins for Wigan Warriors, with the women's team winning the Grand Final earlier that day against Leeds Rhinos, and the under-19s Academy team having won their record 9th Grand Final in 11 seasons on Friday, the 28th of September. Lee Miners Rangers women's team, can I congratulate Mairead Quinn on winning the championship Player of the Year in the final at Manchester Arena. The team lost, but I believe they played very well. Lee Miners men's team, best wishes also go to the team for gaining promotion following a golden point drop goal after the game against Milford Marlins at Featherstone, which was tied at full time. Well done to all our sporting stars. 3 new stars for the new square. I would like to congratulate the following on being awarded stars on the Leaf Square to celebrate their outstanding service to Wigan in their chosen field. Sean Wayne, coach of Wigan Warriors. Duke of Lancaster's Regiment and the Queen's Own Yeomanry. Well done to you all. School meals. Service earns national gong. May I congratulate Metrofresh, who provide school meals for 84 schools, on gaining an annual service award for efficiency and transformation. Well done to all staff. Town Twinning. Visit to Angers. I should like to place on my record appreciation to the officers involved with the arrangements for the town twinning visit to Angers in September. In particular, may I thank those who assisted with translations during the visit. This is a beautiful city, and the friendship and hospitality of its people will remain with me for a long time. Declarations of interest. The monitoring officer has provided advice to all members and relevant guidance has been issued. Members are asked to consider relevant interest for the purpose of this meeting, and if there is any interest, members must leave the room during the relevant item. Please fill out the form on your desk if you need to declare an interest, and return this to Christy at the end of the meeting. Update the Cabinet portfolio orders. Councillor Bullen will introduce items A to D. Councillor Bullen.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. A special educational needs and disability inspection carried out jointly by Ofsted and the Care Quality Commission took place in June this year. The inspection sought to evaluate Wigan's effectiveness in implementing the Disability and Special Educational Needs reforms as set out in the Children and Families Act 2014. Whilst we have many areas to work on, none were identified that we were not already aware of and have strategic forward plans in place for. There were a great number of positives in the report. For example, multi-agency and partnership working is a strength. Early identification is good, and also work with the most vulnerable and young offenders. The delay in diagnosing autism pathways has been dramatically reduced. The wider development of our autism-friendly borough has also supported this well. We have improved housing for young adults with SEND, and more job opportunities are available to them. Our leaders have an accurate view of strengths and weaknesses, the report said. Most importantly, the inspection confirmed that the borough places children and families at the heart of everything that we do. The inspection stated that what we need to do to improve includes ensuring that children and young people with SEND make better progress academically. Also being more consistent in identifying less obvious needs, particularly young people's social, emotional and mental health needs. We need to improve the attendance rates for SEND pupils in our high schools and reduce the number of exclusions. And we need to strengthen early intervention and prevention in order for the pressure on our special school places to be reduced. Following the inspection, a detailed SEND transformation programme has been developed to move us forward and address the areas for improvement. Wider stakeholder engagement is taking place to guarantee that communications and changes are embedded across the borough. And regular staff engagement sessions are taking place to consult on our agreed next steps. Madam Mayor, I'd like to thank all officers, health partners, schools and parents who contributed during this inspection. Item B, Madam Mayor, if I may, I'm going to widen the results out to be a summary of current educational performance. Overall, whilst we have areas of focus we need to develop across education, there remains much to celebrate. We must recognise the great work and support our teachers and leaders provide for the education of our children and young people, alongside the commitment and perseverance of our children and young people and their families themselves in this. Ofsted school outcomes. 90% of schools and settings across the borough are judged good or outstanding. This compares to 85% nationally. 95% of primary age pupils attend good and outstanding schools. This is above the national, which is 86%. 66% of our secondary age students attend good and outstanding schools, compared to 74 nationally. In the early years foundation stage profile, the percentage of children achieving an overall good level of development has been sustained this year at 69%, though the national average has increased to 72%. However, in Wigan, children eligible for free school meals achieving a good level of development has increased by 1%. At Key Stage 1, there are slight improvements overall, and we are broadly in line with national averages. At Key Stage 2, there are improvements across all subjects, and we remain strong compared to national averages. 69% of pupils in Wigan achieve the expected standard for the combined reading, writing and mathematics score. This is up from 66% from last year, which importantly marks a rise of 12% in the last 2 years and continues to be above the national average. At Key Stage 4, outcomes based on the national measures are more variable than across the previous key stages, but this is reflected of the patterns seen in other North West local authorities. At Key Stage 4, the provisional detail released to date indicates that attainment aid at 45.5% in Wigan is above the 2018 national average, but reflects a slight drop from last year. The percentage of students attaining a grade 4 or above in English at 76% is slightly above the national average. Those attaining grade 4 or above in mathematics is 68%, and the score for English and maths combined is 62%. Both these outcomes are slightly below the national averages. Our Progress 8 score in Key Stage 4 reflects a slight decline in Wigan's overall performance. However, a number of schools have made significant strides with regard to student outcomes, and the further improvements desired across our secondary schools are the focus of considerable positive joint effort led by our Wigan Education Partnership. Moving on, Madam Mayor, to the early years peer review pilot. We agreed to be the first local authority to have an early years local government association, LGA, peer review commissioned by DFE. It was a useful fact-finding exercise for them, as our early years service is consistently outperforming other local authorities in terms of implementation of the 30 hours childcare, support for speech and language, and SEND provision. The key messages from this review were very positive. We have an effective range of practice in early years, which is inclusive and successful in reaching out to vulnerable children. The deal is successfully encouraging innovative practice and positive culture. We are successful in drawing on external funding and expertise, and are using devolved funding from Greater Manchester well to develop integrated working. From the review, areas for consideration in the future include how we might embed and sustain an approach which has had a lot of pump priming. Also, we need to look at tracking an individual child's journey to measure the longitudinal impact and make sure that the input at early years is sustained. Following the review, the early years and Startwell teams are currently working on an action plan. Madam Mayor, I would like to thank these teams and all of our early years providers and parents who contributed to this very positive review of our early years provision. Madam Mayor, I'm delighted now to introduce Anthony and Kate, who are going to share a celebration with us of Wigan Youth Zone 5 years on. Anthony and Kate. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Anthony Ashworth-Steen, and I am the Executive Director of Wigan Youth Zone.
And I'm Kate Rigby, the Youth Work Manager at Wigan Youth Zone.
Thank you very much for inviting us this evening and for giving us the opportunity to talk about the work of Wigan Youth Zone and the partnership with Wigan Council, which is something we are very proud of. Wigan Youth Zone opened its doors in 2013. Opened its doors to the public in 2013 with the primary purpose of giving young people somewhere to go, something to do, and someone to talk to. As we approached our 5-year milestone, we took the opportunity to review our successes and ready the organisation for the next 5 years by consolidating our offer and setting a clear organisational direction. Over the course of this presentation, we will illustrate some of our key successes over the past 5 years, articulate our new strategy, and give you an overview of our 2 major challenges before leaving you with some thoughts as to how you can support our vital youth provision.
Wigan Youth Zone offers young people in the town more choice and opportunity than any other youth club or centre in the area. The £6.5 million capital investment provided by 3 local philanthropists has produced a 21st century youth facility which is rated as one of the best in the country. The facilities include a training kitchen to teach young people how to cook cheap and healthy meals, a fitness and boxing gym with top-of-the-range equipment, a 10-metre climbing wall which gives young people the opportunity to do everything they can at a commercial climbing centre, a dance studio, a music room with recording studio for young people to record tracks for the Wigan Youth Zone record label Read Good Records, a radio station which is run by young people for young people, a recreation area with a cafe offering hot meals for £1 to £1.50, an art studio, a girls' room, skate park, sports hall, and 4 outdoor all-web pitches. Other services on offer include counselling, mentoring, employability and enterprise programmes, outdoor pursuits, Duke of Edinburgh, days out and holiday clubs. Wigan Youth Zone works with all young people, regardless of their circumstances or backgrounds, to make the most of their talents and maximise the opportunities they have available to them. Aside from the work that happens at the centre, Wigan Youth Zone runs programmes in other areas of the borough to give young people that are unable to travel to the facility an opportunity to engage with the Youth Zone. At present, Wigan Youth Zone runs a youth club in Plattbridge 3 nights a week in conjunction with Wigan Council, Inspiring Healthy Lifestyles, Wigan Warriors Community Foundation, McDonald's and the police. A junior and senior 1 night a week in Shackley and 1 night a week at Highbridge Leisure Centre with Inspiring Healthy Lifestyles. On Friday night, Wigan Youth Zone runs a minibus to bring young people from Tilsley and Atherton, and on Saturday night, a coach from Higher Folds and Lee. In addition to the outreach work, Wigan Youth Zone also organises day trips for young people to visit other youth zones and offers residential programmes for different groups of young people in different parts of the country, which are very popular.
The young people who use Wigan Youth Zone are all unique and engage with the staff, facilities and each other in their own individual way. We currently have over 4,000 members. Within our membership, we have an improving balance of females to males, 5% who have self-identified as needing additional inclusion support, and around 12% of young people from a BNE group. 35% of our members are juniors, which are primary school ages 8 to 11, and 65% seniors 12 to 19 or up to 25 with a disability, and we open at the following times. While Wigan Youth Zone offers enjoyable and stimulating activities for young people, its core mission is to help them be ready for life. When questioned, 85% of young people said that skills and experiences gained from the Youth Zone has helped them better prepare them for their future. An independent evaluation commissioned by Youth Zone's national coordinating body OnSide in 2015 found that 89% of young people using Youth Zones saw an improvement in their self-confidence and 86% felt happier overall. The evaluation also found that 90% of young people felt their social skills had improved as a result of the interaction experienced at Youth Zone. The Wigan Youth Zone programme to support young people into education, employment or training has also been given a thumbs up, with 80% of those completing the course moving on into education, employment or training. In June 2018, the local police reported that Wigan Youth Zone has led to a significant reduction in antisocial behaviour and therefore making Wigan a safer place to live because it offers young people an alternative to hanging about in the streets and giving them something productive and fulfilling to do. In terms of social value, Amy on Consultancy did a comparison of selected youth zones in the UK. In 2015, we found the Wigan Youth Zone delivered a 2.19 return on social value, the highest of all those reviewed. This amounted to millions of pounds of added value and savings for the local authority and community.
Over the past 5 years, we have had an exceptionally positive impact on the young people of Wigan and Lee. Here are some examples.
I've got high functioning autism, and that does have an impact on the social skills and can get me anxious and stuff when I'm out and about. And I've always had help all my life. I've been in special needs schools my entire life. I was having problems with confidence and I had depression. I was feeling down all the time and I went into counselling. It led to a point where I was considering ending my life. I sent all my friends goodbye messages. That got them worried, very loyal authorities. And police came and they took me home. I was counselling with Bernardo's at the time and they took me here for a trip, a few visits, and I signed up and I got shown round. Catherine asked if I wanted to come into the album one day. And when I came down there, I started doing a few bits and bobs of activities and stuff. And then, over the years of being down there, I took part in the Arts Awards, where I made a painting of a picture that I took on the bus. I went to the music studio, I had a good look round, and then we had Nikki there, and I said that I'm interested in a lot of music, I listen to a lot of music, and I sing as well. Whenever you're feeling down, I got given an award for my equality video, and I got a big trophy. The song, it talks about not being afraid of who you are, and I think it does help a few people. That's what life is all about, you are special, unique and alone. And now, from the isolated Sean, that was always in the house, now there's this Sean, who goes to college, goes to the youth zone, goes out on buses all over the place. I am hardly ever in. The youth zone has helped me open me up to that big wide world. Now I do have a pretty good future, because the youth zone has helped me see that future. That's what life is all about. You are special, unique and alone.
The impact of Wigan Youth Zone is starting to gain traction outside of the borough, as we reach the final in 3 categories of the North West Charity Awards, including the category of Charity of the Year. At the awards, our volunteer training manager, Sue Shearer, received a commendation which is testament to all of her hard work and that of our volunteers. We have also been shortlisted for 2 awards at the UK Youth Awards in the categories of Youth Worker of the Year and Youth Organisation of the Year, which we are absolutely thrilled about. Wigan Youth Zone is a youth facility fit for the 21st century, and the positive impact that it has made to the lives of the young people is clear. Notwithstanding this, the charity has no intention of resting on its laurels, as we strive to remain relevant for the next generation of young people growing up in the town. Over the past year, we have firmed up the foundations of the organisation as we set our sights on the next chapter of Wigan Youth Zone, years 6 to 10.
Starting with a change of management, there was an internal performance review and re-evaluation of the organisation's purpose and priorities. This began with a restructure process designed to reduce the total budget of the charity from 2.2 million in 17-18 to 1.75 million in 18-19, which was achieved. The restructure also aimed on focusing more staff time on delivery to ensure that the programmes offered to young people were the very best they could be. The initial results have been very positive. In addition to the cost savings, a lot of work went into meeting all of the funders of the Youth Zone to hear perspectives on what has been good and what can be improved. These meetings helped to shape the understanding of the current team and retain financial support, which is critical to the future of the charity.
Finally, the team also listened to the needs of young people from community stakeholders to understand where there are gaps in provision, and from the young people themselves to help shape the future direction of the organisation. All of this led to the creation of a 5-year organisational strategy in order to set a clear roadmap for the charity, which finessed the organisational vision, mission and values, in addition to setting 10 primary operational goals. We are pleased to share these with you today.
The vision of Wigan Youth Zone is to inspire and empower young people in Wigan and Lee to fulfil their potential. Our mission is to give young people in Wigan and Lee, aged 8 to 19, up to 25 with a disability, freedom to discover themselves in an innovative, safe and social environment, and to support their transition into adulthood.
Our values are a young person-centred approach, open, inclusive and respectful environment, universal programming consistently on offer which is inspirational and aspirational, truly meaningful opportunities for youth voice and empowerment, helping young people to build positive relationships to enable them to reach their potential.
Our 10 primary goals for the next 5 years are as follows. For 15% of all young people aged 8 to 19, up to 25 with a disability in Wigan and Lee, to be signed up as a member of Wigan Youth Zone, and for an average of 75% of those members to be active on a regular basis by December 2022.
Enhance our inclusion offer to give more meaningful opportunities for young people that require additional support. Our aim is for members that need additional support to make up 15% of our overall membership by December 2022.
To expand our employability offer by 75%, to provide opportunities for 140 young people per year, with at least 80% going on to a positive destination, either an apprenticeship, employment or further education by January 2022.
Young people to be given a more meaningful voice in the direction and strategy of Wigan Youth Zone by December 2018.
To become a chosen provider of the National Citizen Service Programme in Wigan and Lee by summer 2019.
For volunteering at Wigan Youth Zone to become sought after in recognition of the impact people's time has on young people and the array of training opportunities it provides. We aim to have over 100 active volunteers regularly undertaking a commitment at least once a month by October 2020.
To develop a new annual communications plan by 2019, which enhances the communication of Wigan Youth Zone and further embeds the charity as a pivotal part of the communal fabric in Wigan and Lee.
Ensure sustainability for the long term through the efficient use of resources, development of a robust income generation strategy and excellent governance by March 2020.
To guarantee that Wigan Youth Zone facilities are kept up to a high standard through our planned and reactive programme of works.
To become an accredited organisation for investment in staff by December 2020.
I'm sure you will agree that if we are successful with our strategy, it will be taking Wigan Youth Zone to the next level in terms of the service we will be providing to the young people and the wider community. However, we cannot do that without the support of everyone in the room today. At present, there are two major challenges that we face at the Youth Zone. The first is funding. Despite reducing the expenditure by 20% this year, we're forecasting a cash deficit and an additional one in budget year 2019-20. This has been budgeted for, and we're able to sustain our current offer through the use of our reserves. However, this is a short-term solution, and we aim to be budget neutral by 2021. We have a fundraising strategy which is to secure 12 to 15 new platinum patrons, which is a commitment of £75,000 over a 3-year period. And although we have already secured 5 in the first half of this financial year, which we're thrilled about, there is still a long way to go.
Secondly, awareness. Despite being open for over 5 years, there is still a large number of people that either don't know of Wigan Youth Zone's existence or what we do and the facilities that we have. Therefore, we have the following 3 requests. Come to visit the centre to witness firsthand the scope of the facilities and the transformational work happening day in, day out. Secondly, talk about the work that we are doing with all of your residents in your wards so they are aware of the provision that we offer. We are also happy to meet with organisations with a view to increasing our collaborative work.
And finally, create warm introductions to businesses or individuals who have the means to support Wigan Youth Zone financially, by giving time to volunteer, and or by offering young people meaningful work experience opportunities. We hope that each and every person here today is able to support us in at least one of these areas, and we would be delighted to discuss any of these with you further, so please do be in touch. Finally, we would like to thank Wigan Council and everyone here for your continued and unequivocal support. We are looking forward to working with you as we enter this exciting new chapter in our history. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I thank you on behalf of the Council for attending the meeting this evening? Thank you. I invite the leader to speak at this point on the World War bombers into the leader.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's just a quick one, really. I think it's ironic that we actually follow the presentation on the youth zone. And the youth zone talks about 4,000 young members. I think there's a figure in today's Observer just for Wigan. It was something like nearly 4,000 young men who come back after the First World War. And that will be replicated in other parts of the borough, in Lee, and some of the small villages that make up the borough as it is now. And I think it's only right that we as members, certainly this weekend on Sunday, the 11th of the 11th, 18, remember the events of what happened 100 years ago. So it's just really a plea and just a reminder to all members to try to make our extra effort this year to make sure that we go to our remembrance services and our reclaim ceremonies across the borough. Because I think it's so important that we show the population that we fully remember the sacrifice that was given 100 years ago by young men from this borough. And that's all I needed to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Constitutional issues. Appointments of local authority representative governors. The Council is requested to approve the nominations for the appointments of school governors, together with nominations for the reappointment for existing governors, as set out on page 20 of the Council's agenda. Are the nominations and reappointments moved?
Move on.
Are these seconded?
Second, Madam Mayor.
Do any other members wish to contribute? All those in favour of accepting the recommendations, please show. Is there any against? Thank you. Policy and budget framework items. Adoption of the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism at page 23 to 32. We have a report that recommends that the Council adopts the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance working definition of anti-Semitism. I invite the leader to move the recommendation.
In moving the recommendation, Madam Mayor, I think there is an amendment to the actual minute itself. And I'd just like to explain to the Council that we fully support the wording of the amendment and prefer to accept that as part of our definition.
Thank you, Peter. Councillor Marsh, could you introduce your amendment, please? Councillor Marsh.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We're not the least in the long line of recent examples of the resurgence of anti-Semitism in our country. I never know whether I should feel incredibly angry or deeply sad. History shows us where anti-Semitism can lead. I'm not just talking about the catastrophic events of the Holocaust, but also the pogroms in the 19th century, the expulsion of the Sephardi Jews from Spain in the 15th century, and the expulsion of English Jews in the 13th century. Yet today, still too many people, including some politicians, seem to be ready to dismiss anti-Semitic comments, especially online, as mere posturing or the exercise of free speech. However, we need to listen to history and remember two things. First, where rises in anti-Semitic behaviour have led humanity in the past. And second, anti-Semitic comments are not free speech, they are hate speech. This is why our adoption of the IHRA definition, including the IHRA's working examples outlined in my amendment, is so important. The full IHRA definition brings a clarity that has long been lacking in the fight against anti-Semitism, as it provides guidelines on the most prevalent manifestations of anti-Semitism in the 21st century. That is not to say that it's simply a list of prescribed phrases, Madam Mayor. The definition also recognises legitimate free speech and acknowledges that context is often key when it comes to what is and what is not anti-Semitic behaviour. The adoption of this definition, including the working examples, will work to achieve three main objectives. First, it will provide a clear signal to our small Jewish community that we stand firmly with them in opposing all forms of anti-Semitism. Second, it will inform our residents on what this council believes counts as anti-Semitic behaviour. Third, I hope it will embolden both the public and members to tackle anti-Semitism online, as condemning from afar is often not enough to change minds. Lastly, tackling anti-Semitism is all of our responsibility. Political parties from across the spectrum, as the leaders showed today, we need to come together on this issue, as only when we are united will our fight against anti-Semitism actually prevail. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Is the amendment seconded?
Beg to second, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Winstanley. Councillor Winstanley, as seconder, would you like to speak on the amendment?
Madam Mayor, I think the proposer said it all, so I'll give members a night off. Thank you.
Leader, do you accept the amendment?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. As the amendment has been accepted, this has now become the substantive motion today. Do any of the members wish to contribute to the substantive motion? Councillor Steve Jones.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I fully agree with what I've heard. I think hate against any minority is something we should all stand against. However, there is two issues, and for once I actually support the leadership of the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn, and the MP group that we've got, which is against the State of Israel. You do mention politicians, but a lot of the time, politicians aren't speaking out against Jews as such. They're speaking out against the actions of what the State of Israel are doing. And what they are doing to the Palestine people is absolutely disgraceful. And if it was a lot of other countries, we'd be getting, let's be honest, we've got involved for far less. So I think we've got to distinguish that when people are criticising the illegal activity of murdering children and land grab, that they're not talking about the Jews as a whole. If we're honest, the State of Israel isn't even, a lot of the descendants of the State of Israel isn't even the same Jewish people you talk about. What I would like to see is this council maybe send a message to government asking them to speak out against what the State of Israel is actually doing to Palestine. So I'm not voting against the motion by any way, but I do feel like there's a far bigger picture. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak? Councillor Marsh, do you wish to sum up? Oh, sorry, Councillor Conway.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think the leader has indicated that we fully accept this amendment, and just taking up some of the points Councillor Jones just raised, because I think it's clear within the amendment that it says manifestations including the targeting of the State of Israel conceived as a Jewish collectivity. However, criticism of Israel similar to that level against any other country cannot be regarded as anti-Semitic. And I think that's quite right, because I share some of the views around the policies of the Israeli government and their approach to the people in Palestine. So, not because it's a Jewish collective, but because of the policies that that government are carrying out. In the same way that I would oppose the policies of the Saudi Arabian government, which is basically Muslim, in the way it treats its people and human rights abuses and carrying out a proxy war in Yemen. And certainly, as I oppose some of the policies of the Trump administration in America, which is pursuing a right-wing Christian sort of policies. So, not because of any state of religion or what people are, but the policies that the government are carrying out. And I think that's covered within the amendment where it says criticism of Israel similar to that levelled against any other country cannot be regarded as anti-Semitic. So I think it's a clear difference between anti-Semitism and criticism of a particular, whatever country it is, government's policies that's carried out within this world. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Marsh, do you wish to sum up? No. Okay. All those in favour of accepting the recommendation set out in the report, please show. That's accepting the recommendation. Thank you. Against? Thank you. Annual report of the Chair, Audit, Governance and Standards Committee. At pages 33 to 46, we have a report that highlights the work of the Audit, Governance and Standard Committee and commends how the committee has contributed to Council's overall governance arrangements in 2017-18. I invite Councillor Rigby to move the recommendations. Is the recommendations seconded?
Seconded, Madam Mayor.
Do any other members wish to contribute? Bob, Councillor Brewer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, for allowing me to speak on this. Standards. Yeah, what are standards? We've got a Standards Committee in breach of the Localism Act 2011. No sanctions should be placed on elected members. Totally disregarded that. I was subjected to, in 2014, to 4 years, probably 4.5 years, of illegal sanctions placed on me until a councillor in Ledborough stood up to the bureaucratic system of bullying councils and won. And that councillor now is standing up to the cost of the illegal sanctions placed on that person, which is going to be a really high opener, because if she wins, this council and these officers should be brought to accountability on public wasted money, which the last hearing with me must have cost £50,000. You employ a solicitor as an investigator at £250 plus VAT per hour, but she's a qualified solicitor. Now who authorised that? It weren't the council, never went through full council, it was authorised by officers. Again.
Councillor Brennan, I'm going to have to stop you. The idea of the report is that it's audit standards committee. You're talking about your personal experience and
Oh,
challenging a decision.
no.
No, you're challenging a decision. It's a personal interest you're declaring. You're talking about it's not relevant to the report. The report is an annual report related towards audit and standards committee.
Well, I'd like to know. You're commissioning on.
No, you clarify that this is not appropriate here, Councillor Brayley, on this.
Councillor Brealey, are you wishing to contribute to...
Yeah, I'm contributing though, yeah. Well, let's find out what the cost of all these hearings are.
Councillor Brealey, can we get down to what is at front of you as a recommendation?
Obviously, I've got objections with the legal department again, which we always have objections all the time.
Councillor Brealey, I am sorry, I understand your aggravation.
I'm not aggravated, Mother.
Councillor Brealey, this is not the place for local issues. Or else I'd be here all night with everybody with
This is the place for discussing the standards and the cost of the standards. Surely, it's wrong in government.
Individual concerns, there is processes that you go through. This is not the place, so please, if you've got anything to say that's not to this paper, then please say, otherwise would you please sit down?
Oh, stand you, man.
I gather that there's nothing else for you to say. So
Well, can we have an assurance of humour that I will get the full breakdown of every standard hearing?
if you put your request in, Councillor Brealey, if you put your request into the legal department, then they will answer. That is not for me sat here tonight to do. I am sorry, but that is not the procedure.
Well, I'm addressing humour. I'm asking you.
I just need the answer that you need. Now, would you please sit down? Right, is there anybody else wish to... Steve Jones, Councillor Jones.
Thank you, Madam.
Couple of things. First of all, about audit, not talking about any individual cases. What I'd like to see, a recommendation, would be, before we take on a complaint in audit, let's look, would a court take it on? Look at it in the way of, from the evidence base, because if you could put something in court and there's no evidence, so it's my word against your word, it might not even get in there. And in the interest of the public's money, I think we should be far more careful on what cases we take on. But that's all I want to speak on that, Madam. On audit, I was looking through the report and it seems this council's quite strapped for cash. It seems the Tories behind me making life really hard work. And there's no money at all, we have to make cutbacks everywhere. But yet, Madam, I found out on Friday that a huge development in my ward has had its £250,000 or 6 months waived by this council. You've turned around, advise the mayor,
this isn't relevant
advise the mayor,
you're talking about the development.
Excuse me,
you're not talking about the reports, no, because you're not talking about
right,
the
well, advise the mayor,
no,
and if the mayor tells me to sit down, I will sit down, right. But I'm not going to sit down to you.
Councillor Johnson, can I ask you to sit down?
Yeah. Well, if not even I get back on point, so I do not get a warning. Even the House of Parliament gets a warning.
Just one moment, please sit down by this moment.
Next time, go through the murder, you don't shut me down. Mind me off, you don't me. Go through the murder, I'll sit there.
You're just going to explain why.
I ain't interested in what you do. I don't listen to corrupt people. Tell the murder to tell me.
Councillor Jones, anybody else in this room? This is not Councillor Jones. This is not a boxing match. This is a debate. Act like a debate. We're here to represent our people. That we represent. I will not get into an argument with you. He is trying to explain to you. Obviously, you don't want that explanation. So we will now move on. We will now move on. All those in favour of accepting... Oh, yeah, you're right. Members will speak. Leader, would you like to speak?
I'm quite happy to accept the report, Madam.
Thank you. All those in favour of accepting the recommendation, set out on this report, please show. Thank you. Against? Thank you. Annual Scrutiny Report 2017-18 at pages 47 to 62. We have a report that provides a brief overview of the role of the scrutiny committees and a snapshot of the area of scrutiny activity undertaken during 2017 to 18. I invite the leader to move the recommendation.
Happy to move, Madam Mayor.
Is the recommendation seconded?
It's the second, Madam Mayor.
Do any other members wish to contribute? Councillor Breland.
Thank you, Mayor. I hope I'm not interrupted this time. By the way, thank you for announcing that me and you will meet in Prince Charles on Tuesday night. It would have been nice to put it out, you know what I mean? It would have been nice to put it on the Wigan Council's website, but it wasn't. I wonder why.
Councillor Breland.
Anyway, that's just mentioned.
Thank you.
Yeah. Regarding scrutiny, as you said, we ask the council officers for information. We don't get it. I am sick to death of asking officers for 10 days, then 20 days, then 30, then 40. And then when I ask again, why are you asking? You're persistently asking. But if they give us the information in the first place, within the 10 days, not 20, not 30, not 40, this council will be a far better chamber to speak on. Because we're telling you what's going on. You're telling us to follow the procedures. We follow the procedures.
Councillor Braley.
What's going on there? You're obviously butting in when I'm talking. I'm sorry, Miss Davis, I don't think you should do that.
I want to speak to the Mayor, to advise the Mayor that what you're talking about, Councillor Braley, isn't relevant to the issue in hand. They're talking about the scrutiny committee and they're trying to see if there is a recommendation that Council's approval be given to that report. You are talking about separate issues.
We're talking about scrutiny.
Mayor, I would suggest that you
I'm on scrutiny committee.
Councillor Breland, you just heard the comment from you. Could you please advise?
Madam Mayor, I am on the scrutiny committee. I ask questions legitimate through the correct procedure. You just told me to go through the correct procedure, and we're not given any answers. So where do we go? Do we debate it here or not?
I believe that when anything is taken in, the officers do get back within the appropriate time.
Yeah. I've been waiting 4 months for information
Well, this is
on
not
the process.
what, I don't even know why I'm mentioning that, because that's not what is reported.
Right, I reported Sunshine, but I've still not had a report back from Mr. Whitworth.
If you can't speak of what is in front of us, may I ask you to sit down, please?
Do I get the information, Madam Mayor?
I believe you've already had them.
Well, I'm sorry, whoever whispered in your ear is misleading you because I've not received the information I keep asking for.
I am now going to bring the legal in to speak to you.
Councillor Braley, you've been asked twice. This is not what the issue is about. The issue before Council is the approval of the report. If you have any issues about information, that can be dealt with outside this forum.
Well, I hope I can deal with my issues, Ms. Davis. I hope I can get a proper answer because I'll be copying in the Mayor. Every time I ask a question, Madam Mayor, I'll be copying you in just to prove I'm following the correct procedure and I don't get the information within the time established 10 days. Thank you, Madam.
Councillor Liston.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I wanted to speak about the report that we've got in front of us and actually accept the work that the committees have done over the previous 12 months. However, I feel like Groundhog Day, I'm sure I made this speech last year, but I think it's fair to say, since the Local Government Act in 2000, all local authorities have struggled a little bit with scrutiny and finding roles for backbench members of, backbench members of the council who went to the cabinet, and I think that was a failure of the Local Government Act in 2000. And going back to early days of scrutiny in this council, I remember being on the Health Select Committee with Councillor O'Brien, when we did some good work in terms of pieces of work and examining things and coming up with some recommendations. But also when we had the old overview scrutiny committee as well, which had task and finish. So we would look at a particular project, we'd then report back with some recommendations. And I actually think, having sat on some of those committees and doing that work, actually across party as well, I think we got talking about the issues and where we could actually make a difference as well. So what I will say, in accepting the report that's before us, if we could potentially look for the new municipal year, to look at if we could try and bring some more of that in and encourage more members to get involved in that on the different working groups, and let's see how we can take things forward, especially when we're looking at the deal and how we can make a positive difference to all our communities. So that would be my offer, to see if we could take that forward, and I'm more than happy to meet with the leader to go through some of my ideas that I've got. Thank you.
Councillor Jones.
Don't matter, Madam
Deputy Leader. Leader, do you wish to sum up?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. I think Michael's got a point. There's a big problem sometimes when members don't want to sit on ONS committees for whatever reason. But it's certainly there to be used, and I think ONS has a very important part to play. And I'm more than happy to sit down with Michael or anybody else who has some real interest in overview and scrutiny and take it forward. And we'll certainly put it in process to have a look at the entire process of overview and scrutiny. But more and more members now wanting to get involved with that and debating on that, but at the same time I've got members who don't want to join any committees for whatever reason. But certainly we will look at that, Madam Mayor, and I'm happy and more than happy to once again move the report for acceptance. Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favour of accepting the recommendations as set out in this report, please show. Thank you. Against? Thank you. There was no competent questions or comments received by the deadline of 12 noon on Friday, the 2nd of November 2018.
I asked a question and it was disregarded, not appropriate. Which is ridiculous, really.
Councillor Peter, I'm sorry to say, but a response has been provided for me today. I have been informed a response has been provided for me today.
Yeah, but I wanted to be voted on into the chamber. What's left?
Oh, well, there was a deadline to be given, and it was given in time. It was given in time for you to give the deadline. So I'm sorry this can't be accepted.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, I did do the correct procedure, and it wasn't addressed by the legal or the democratic services.
I will bring the legal in now.
The question was received in time because of the timescale, but unfortunately, because of the nature of the question, it wasn't deemed fit for or competent for full council. It was a question more appropriately answered and directed to officers. A response was sent today to Councillor Mayor, really, to that question, and it was sent to officer this afternoon.
You understand that, Mr. Davis, but when we ask questions for a debate in here, we are elected councillors. We are elected by the people to ask and make sure the residents get value for money. And I was asking that question on behalf of them, and for be put down when I followed the correct procedure, which you keep going on and on and on again, ridiculous.
Councillor Wheeler, you've had your response. It's not been debated. The deadline has been chosen. It has been missed. It will have to carry on. Please contact the legal, answer these questions to the legal what need to be answered. But at this moment in time, we are moving on. Notices of motion. A motion has been submitted by the leader, which is set out on page 69 of the agenda. Leader.
I don't intend to read the motion out, Madam Clerk. It's quite clear what I'm asking. It's not enforceable, it's a voluntary request that people sign up and do a DBS check. I think what brought it to my attention, I've just completed my DBS check for my role as a school governor. And the lady I was dealing with at the school said, you must have many of these DBS checks being the council, because I presume all councils have got DBS checks. Well, the answer to that is no, we're not. And I think in this day and age when many of us are invited into schools, invited into old people's sheltered accommodation, we deal with surgeries where individuals come to see us, some of which could be vulnerable adults. We are invited into people's homes. Many times you go into a home where there may be vulnerable adults and vulnerable children. And I think all members of the public will be quite shocked to find out that councils were not DBS checked. I think it's as simple as that. And I don't think we need any great debate on it. You either agree to a DBS check or you don't. There's no problem for me. But all I'm saying is that the members of the public out there will expect all members to be DBS checked when you invite them into the homes, invite them into those places of education, sheltered accommodation, and I think it's most important. I'm not one to start delving into people's past, but a basic DBS check wouldn't show that. It would just show that you're a proper person in terms of dealing with young people and vulnerable adults. And that's all I'm asking for. The council will cover the cost of it, the council will administer it, and it would appear on your profile on the council's website and the DBS check, and that will be it. So, Madam Mayor, I have no problem at all in moving the motion. It's very clear what we want to do, and I would hope that all members across the chamber would support it. Thank you.
Is the motion seconded?
Back to second, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Jones. Excuse me, just one moment please. This isn't open debate. The leader has made it perfectly clear. It is entirely
It's all open debate.
It's entirely, excuse
So
me.
we can't debate something.
Excuse me, you can either have the DBS check or you don't have the DBS check.
It says competent for debate.
Right. I have just been informed you can't debate on it.
I thought you meant me, Madam Mayor, but I was competent for debate.
No.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, my only issue with this is it's the council that are administering it, it's the council going to be paying for it. And I've got a little check really, I thought, because it's always full of the money with you guys, because there's always somebody at the other end of it, some crony, some guys in with the council. And we have a criminal record services company. Are we going to be using this company? Because if we are, we have a conflict of interest. Also, I'm uncomfortable with this council controlling and having any more data than it's already got. Because at the moment it is shambolic with it. I have put in a data subject access in August and I'm still waiting for it now in September. I've had to bring the Information Commissioner office in to go through this. There were 37 complaints to the Information Commissioner's office about this council. Does this council want to take on more data collected when it can't cope with what it already has? Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Winston.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, can I apologise? I apologise for my outburst before, and it was the wrong place, the wrong thing to say. So I apologise. And I'm looking at it, I'm going to read the report rather than just talk about the minutes it says on it. But going on to this motion, on paper it looks good. And I'm actually going to supply my own check on this, so with what I say next I can't be accused of saying I'm trying to hide something. I think a lot of my things have been like an open book anyway. But back to the point, my problem is not with yourselves. My problem is, let's be honest, there's a lot of things going on in this council at the moment. And my worry is depending on what councillor you are in the future, you're elected, and let's say you took something from us for so many years, got to feed your family, and you're going against this council, knowing what myself and backing what Councillor Mayor has just said, unfortunately, and you can say it's bullying, leader, your top office in this council cannot be trusted with this type of information. And before anybody moves me, just be very, very careful, because I'm not going to go into any details, but I can back up 100% what I say. Data protection, bro, and this is why at times we do lose our rag, even though we shouldn't. Data protection, we can't handle it. We put in emails to people what you should never say about a council. So for that basis, I've got to say, you don't tick the right boxes for being trustworthy. Leader, I think you are personally. I don't think you get involved in any of this type of thing. But your administration of your paid staff at this moment cannot be trusted. Thank you very much, Madam
Councillor Winston.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We've obviously discussed the motion within the Conservative group, and we understand it's voluntary, and we're happy to take part in that process. We've not got a problem with that. The other thing I would say, and I've spoken to the leader about this previously, is that I think obviously this motion is today standing before us and will go through in terms of requesting voluntarily for members to take part in. What I would like to see is that we actually do a proper report that goes to the Audit and Governance Committee, that goes to Cabinet, that then comes back to full council for approval. Obviously, it's not enforceable by law, we know that, but I think just for a scrutiny process and good governance, we should have a policy to back that up, which outlines exactly what will happen, who will do it, and what that data will or will not be used for. So, on that basis, then we are happy to support the motion. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Wheeler.
Thank you, ma'am. Sounds like deja vu, this bit. I remember in 2004 when the Community Action Party requested across the party CRB checks. The Labour Party voted it out. It's nice now you want to vote it in. Right, there's something going on with this council here. And like Stephen Jones said, Councillor Jones, I wouldn't trust these council employees with anything. They abuse the positions, they abuse the data protection, they even put myself on your council website, and I'm still waiting for the who put that on the 28th of October 2017 on a Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Now, the police informed me...
Councillor Wheeler, you cannot get into personal details.
No, it's not personal details.
In this chamber, it is personal details. Could you refrain to the motion in front of you, not your personal...
It seems like at every opportunity, Bert, every time I speak about what's going on in this council, someone wants to put me down. Every time. I follow your procedures, I follow the regulations, I'm asking a civil question, and you just seem to want to put me down all the time.
Councillor Wheeler, you're not speaking on the motion. Everyone in this room gets the chance to speak on the motion, including yourself.
Well,
you speak to the motion and not personal views.
Not personal views. It's a fact.
Speak onto the motion, please. Or sit down and let us...
I'm not sitting down now. Regarding the company who's doing it, are they Labour? If they are, we believe there's two companies in Labour, run by Labour strong Labour members. But then again, my CRB check or whatever will come back to that. As you know, just after. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Freeman. Councillor Cumler, as you have reserved the right to speak, as seconder, I now invite you to speak on the motion.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, for missing opportunity. But I just think over the last few years, we've seen a number of cases where people with high public profiles have been subject to various allegations and in fact found guilty of various things. I think the issue of safeguarding and abuse of people has risen very much in public perception and public prominence. And so I think as councillors holding positions of public office in the borough, I think it's something that we could do to give some confidence to the public that in carrying out our duties and our functions, and like the leader said in various places to do that, that we've been DBS checked. I think on what's proposed is the sort of basic check, which does not include spent convictions. So where Councillor Jones was talking about that, if there's a spent conviction, that's not included in the basic check. I don't really see any necessity for us to go through a long process of through audit, through overall scrutiny and all that, because this is a voluntary scheme. If you want to be DBS checked, if you're prepared to do that, you can do so, and it will state that you've been DBS checked. If you don't want to do it, you don't need to do it. So there's no compulsion behind it, but I think what it will do is give some confidence to members of the public that a councillor has been DBS checked and is checked. If you don't wish to do it, you don't need to do it. There's no issue with that. So actually, I don't see why we can't just move forward with this as it is. I think perhaps what needs to be considered is whether standard or enhanced checks need to be done, and I think that relates to what positions we appoint people to. Because in some areas where you have direct contact with children or you have direct contact. So I think what we can push through is the basic check. It's optional whether people wish to do that, but I think probably what needs to be considered is whether we would require a standard or an enhanced check for positions which the council may appoint people to. Now that's not to say that you know, they wouldn't be considered for that. It depends on what's on the check. I can understand some of the concerns that have been expressed by Councillor Browley, Councillor Jones, but I think it's important that the DBS checks are confidential. It's confidential between...
Don't exist in this council.
Well, that would be a clear breach of confidentiality if somebody's personal information from a DBS check was revealed publicly, and I think that would be a serious offence. But certainly, I don't think it's acceptable that any breach of confidentiality around that, because that would be between the individual and the officer who's ever maintaining the records. And I would think that was somebody in HR or legal, but that would be a clearly identified person who would have the responsibility to ensure the confidentiality of that record. And I think that's very clear. So I'd support the motion. I ask people to support the motion on the basis that it is. And I think any other further stuff that needs to be done, that Councillor Winston was doing, was around whether we look at any enhanced checks for people who we may nominate to various positions from this council.
Thank you. Leader, I now invite you to sum up on the motion.
Thank you, Madam.
I just wanted to ask a quick question, Madam Mayor, if that's okay, regarding this issue before it's voted on.
I'm sorry, technically it is too late. Council Leader.
Okay. I'm on. Thank you for that, Madam Mayor. I made it very clear, it's voluntary. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you've someone to panic about, panic. But this is nothing to panic about. Absolutely, no problem whatsoever. You either want it or you don't want it. What this it does is very clear, it's voluntary. Voluntary. This council requests that all members undertake it. If you don't, that's a request. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. what I'm saying is, in my opinion, it is now going to be open, if this council agrees, that if a council wants to have a DBS check, they will have a DBS check. When it will appear on the website that we've had a DBS check. We're all now more and more in the public's eye getting involved in going to schools, going into houses, going into old people's homes, and I think if you had a pool of people out there, they would have expected all councillors to be DBS checked. I think that's clearer than any time before, with all the issues that have been in the national press about how people have behaved and how people have acted who've been in public office. So I think it's more important than we're seeing to be doing something here in Wigan. And I'm happy to move that all members are requested, if you don't want to do it, don't do it, are requested to have a DBS check, and I will ask the officers to put the policy in motion for members to sign up to that. Okay? Thank you very much.
I will now move to the vote on the motion. All those in favour of accepting the leader's motion, please vote. Thank you. Against? Thank you all. That concludes the business before us tonight. And thank you for attending and a safe journey.